Honourable Deputy Speaker, Honourable Acting Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, I want to thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to talk about the topic collaborative approach to education, given the comments that comes out from the other side about lack of consultation or need for an education commission. Honourable Deputy Speaker, when we ventured into further improving education and its deliverance in Fiji, we noted and identified a number of stakeholders in areas which needed to be fully aligned with the Ministry's ultimate vision if we had to realize the vision that we had to ensure that every child gets access to quality education. Honourable Deputy Speaker, we noted that some may see this process as challenging, them or questioning the status quo, but we had no choice but to forge ahead with the reforms along with them, while at the same time we also looked at strengthening partnerships with them. We had earmarked that key stakeholders such as the school managers, parents associations, school communities, various professional bodies such as the Principals Association, the Head Teachers Association, local and overseas universities, academics, research bodies, overseas professional bodies such as the CPA, the Certified Practicing Accountants of Australia, needed to be brought on board in a more meaningful way with the ultimate goal in mind of improving quality, providing quality education to everyone, the rank and file included. Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Minister of Education, Heritage and Arts has been pursuing a widely accepted collaborative approach for all the essential areas of educational development and implementation since 2014. Over the years, we have looked at strengthening those parties of education that have important inputs to make but have been virtually operating from the sidelines. Honourable Deputy Speaker, I wish to now shed light on how we, in our journey to provide quality education, included them or mainstreamed them into our education journey. Honourable Deputy Speaker, over the last 2 years, we've had 5 major education forums organized throughout Fiji. The Education Forum is an advisory body to the Minister of Education, Heritage and Arts. All relevant stakeholders have been participating in the Education Forum, including teacher training institutions, USP, FNU, and University of Fiji, Corpus Christi, Fulton College, the Fiji National Council of School Management Representatives, School Principals and Head Teachers Association, development partners such as UNICEF, UNESCO, ILO, Read to Lead, DFET, ICAP, faith-based groups that run our schools, the unions, PTA, and other government and non-government agencies that have been operating from the sidelines supporting Ministry of Education's broad approach, such as Save the Children, etc. Honourable Deputy Speaker, this year we had some very informative presentations. For the first time ever, we changed the format of the Education Forum, where we allowed these stakeholders to make presentations on their view about the education system, how they see us producing the graduates out of our primary and high school system. We had presentations from the Vice Chancellor of 3 universities in our Education Forum. We had presentations for the first time ever from the 2 unions. All along, unions were participating, but they were never given an opportunity to actually present at the Education Forum. First time ever, the unions presented. First time ever, the National Council of School Management representative, the co-chair, was given an opportunity to make a presentation on how they see themselves as a partner in this educational process. For the first time ever, Honourable Deputy Speaker, we had presentations from the Fiji Principals Association and the Fiji Head Teachers Association. We see them as a very important body. They are the body of all the leaders of the schools, the head teachers and the principals. It is important that we hear them now. We had experts presenting at this forum. The deans of the College of Humanities and Education of the 3 universities presented. We had invited professors of education from the universities to make presentation at this forum, and we also had presentations from our development partners, in particular DFED, ICAP, Access to Quality Education Program. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we also provided a half-day session for an open forum where the stakeholders will then exchange ideas and ask questions to Ministry and to each other. For example, the National Council of Management had questions to ask the Principals Association or Head Teachers Association about the expectation from head teachers or principals, the leaders, the academic leaders of the school. So, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we had a very interesting format and very interesting feedback, which we went back and started to see how we could incorporate those suggestions provided by the Vice Chancellors, the professors of education, the deans of the College of Education, and other stakeholders at the Education Forum. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Fiji has a unique education model where most of our schools were initially constructed and established by community members and faith-based groups. This partnership is a testimony of the passion of the people of this nation at that point in time, Honorable Deputy Speaker, to advance education and build a knowledge-based society. Honorable Deputy Speaker, at that point in time, when primary schools and secondary schools were very scarce, members of the community had the vision about the importance of education in contributing to a stable, peaceful, and growing future Fiji. Hence, they assisted the government then by taking up themselves, collecting money, pooling the resources to construct primary and secondary schools throughout Fiji. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, these school managers, these school leaders never were recognized to that extent, never were given the opportunity to participate in the educational process at the level that should have been, given they were, at that point in time, they took lead in establishment of the schools. In fact, almost all those, except for 12 schools, the rest of these primary and secondary schools were initially constructed and established by faith-based groups and members of the community. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have decided that we will give them a greater involvement by establishing a Secretariat of National Council of School Management and establishing for each district the National Council of School Management Body. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this year, over the last 6 weeks, we went around every district and had meetings with the school managers, National Council of School Management for that particular district. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we launched for the first time ever a management book for school handbook, a revised management school handbook. We had comments like from managers that there was in the past a draft manager's manual, but it was there on the shelf. It was not brought to us, not given to us. Neither was it explained to the detail about what is required of us. Honorable Deputy Speaker, you may have heard about managers saying, oh, we didn't know about the regulation. Oh, we were not told about it. We didn't know that we had to take the quotations. So what we did this time around, Honorable Deputy Speaker, not only we gave them a hard copy of the management manual, but we also went down and undertook a 3-hour workshop on explaining to them details about their roles and responsibilities, the things that they can do and they can't do, and what are the processes for ensuring that the free education grant that we are providing are there to enhance the learning environment of the children at the school. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we also, for the first time, launched a newsletter of the National Council of School Management, which will be published quarterly to update them on developments in the education sector, developments at school level in different parts of the country, so that managers do understand what's happening in different parts of the country, how they can learn, exchange ideas through the newsletter. Contact details of the reps of different districts are given there in the ministry for them to obtain any issues or seek clarification on any particular issue. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I must say that we received overwhelming cooperation and participation at the workshop. We organized this workshop at Rakireki, Tagua, Ba, Latoka, Nendi, Singatoka, Nagua, Rishikul and Suva, and Nasori Mono. We had 3 in Northern Division, one at Langalanga Primary School in Wanyikoro, one at Lambasa Civic Center, and one at Bunibao Primary School in Bua. So that we are able to capture, go down and meet the managers, give them the recognition that they deserve, take the handbook to them, explain it to them, and tell them that they may be out of sight, but they're not out of mind, and we recognize the important role they're playing in our education system. We had a total of 1,020 representatives of the school, managers and presidents and treasurers, attending these workshops that we held over the last 6 weeks throughout Fiji. Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, a very important and critical stakeholder of education is parents. Honorable Deputy Speaker, education is something that affects nearly every household in the country. Every household is indirectly or directly affected by education because their children or grandchildren, someone is attending the school, and therefore they want to be included, their voices need to be heard, and they need to be, we need to work with them. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is in this regard that last year beginning we launched a new framework for parental engagement. We want to shift from a child-centered learning so that we support the importance of parental engagement. Studies have shown that parental engagement has had an enduring and positive impact on many indicators of child's achievement in realizing his or her full potential. Policymakers in the past have accepted and acknowledged that parental engagement is important for student learning, but little had been done to identify strategies that can assist to improve this in schools. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Pillar 4 of Ministry's reform highlights parental engagement framework in education, and we launched it in February 2016. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this is the detailed engagement framework, a booklet that we launched last year, which talks about the various things that parents should do to ensure that they take ownership of the child's education, growth and development. We have questions, we have sections where it tells them what a parent should do before the child leaves for school, what the parent should do when the child comes home, what kind of questions that the parent should ask. We have a section on what kind of questions the school head should ask the parents when the parents visit the school or drops the child or during the parents' day. We have a section where the kind of questions that parents should ask school heads when they visit the school during the CAPS meeting. We have sections about the kinds of questions the teachers should ask parents or guardians, or the kinds of questions that parents and guardians should ask teachers. We have also a section on what kind of things the community, members of the community could ask the children or leaders in the community. So this was given out to the schools to use this and give it out to the parents. In addition to that, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we also provided this a 2-page simple lift out of the parental engagement framework that we inserted in the newspaper and gave it out, and which was circulated to the public in January, so that parents do get a simpler version and get them to prepare for this academic year. So we will send this out again regularly so that parents are updated on how they can ensure that they have full information about how their child is doing, how the child, whether the child is being affected by someone or a particular party, whether they know that if there's any problem with the child in school, through this engagement framework, they can ascertain those information. And all parties that deal with the child, whether it's parents, whether it's school teachers, or whether it's a school head, gets to know and understand some of the salient features which can contribute towards improvement of the child's performance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we also have taken a proactive approach on engaging with the two professional bodies, the Fiji Head Teachers Association and the Fiji Principals Association. We are playing a very active role in supporting the conferences. Both of them now, we have encouraged them to have 2 conferences each year. Previously, only one body used to have 2 conferences, while the other body used to have 1 conference. We now encourage the other body to have 2 conferences each year so that we can engage with them more meaningfully. Our different sections participate in the conference so that the conference is more meaningful rather than it is just a session for merrymaking. But Honourable Deputy Speaker, for the first time we initiated the Excellence Awards at the Principals and Head Teachers Conference this year, and schools with outstanding performance were recognized publicly and given awards so that it inspires them and also inspires other schools to receive awards. Honourable Deputy Speaker, you would have noted, I had provided data earlier on, that in the 6D category for primary school, the top school in Fiji hailed from Wainikoro sector, the 6D category. Now, if the Langalanga primary school in Wainikoro become the top school in 6D category with 100% pass rate in year 6 and 100% pass rate in year 8 and quality pass rate, then I can't see any reason why schools in urban areas cannot deliver 100% pass rate. Honourable Deputy Speaker, this is the spin-off we did at the conference, Head Teachers Conference, when we provided the Excellence Award to school heads for different categories. We could see other schools saying that next year we want to come on stage and receive the Gold Star Award or Award for Excellence. So this is the kind of spin-off we did and made those conferences of the head teachers and principals very meaningful this year. Honourable Deputy Speaker, we have also established strong linkages with the 3 universities. Honourable Deputy Speaker, we have got expertise at the university. We don't have to go around the world asking for a commission to come and tell us. We have got expertise at our doorstep. Our 3 universities, University of South Pacific, 49 years old, Fiji National University, University of Fiji. We should respect the academics there. We should trust them. They have got the body of knowledge out there, Honourable Deputy Speaker. We don't have to parade around by asking for Education Commission to deal with problems that we can easily solve by interacting and asking those questions to the experts out there at the 3 universities. Honourable Deputy Speaker, our curriculum section has professors and lecturers from the 3 universities in the curriculum advisory body for each subject area to ensure that we get external independent opinion on changes. For example, for any changes in the curriculum, we have the subject matter committee chaired by a university professor or someone, university academic. Unless and until that particular curriculum working group approves the change, we would not go ahead and make those changes. So these changes to the curriculum are the kind of hived out to the curriculum working group, where we present the changes to the curriculum working group, which is chaired by the professors in the relevant subject areas. Honourable Deputy Speaker, we also have implemented a number of policies. Consultations are carried out with relevant stakeholders, which include school managers, school head teachers, canteen operators, and other relevant ministries, given as long as we identify which stakeholder will be affected. And our policy and research section goes around undertaking this policy consultation. In 2016, 12 policies were reviewed and consulted, while in 2017 to date, 8 policies were undertaken for policy consultation throughout Fiji, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker, we've also undertaken a number of workshops for ECE teachers as well as special and inclusive education teachers. We are mindful that we need to continuously, Honourable Deputy Speaker, continuously upgrade the skills of our teachers. There are technology changing, there are skills, soft skills that our teachers need to acquire, and it is in this regard that we have a dynamic system where we continuously interrogate the practices, the knowledge that our teachers have, and we continuously provide opportunities for them to upgrade through ministry organized workshops or externally funded, externally organized workshops. We are also, Honourable Deputy Speaker, liaising with professional bodies to come and examine our curriculum. Last week, we invited the CPA, a very well world-recognized accounting professional body operating out of Australia, we have agreed to review our year 12 and 13 accounting curriculum for free. They will fund, the experts will come down and work here and undertake the review and provide materials. They will also take two of our staff, the curriculum officers, to Australia to upskill and allow them to attend the technical workshop. So, Honourable Deputy Speaker, despite the comments, we are working together in this educational journey. Thank you, Naka.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I now call on the Leader of Opposition or designate.
There are several contentious issues.
Can you? Still not.
Still not.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the Honourable Minister for Education for the update and strongly believe that there are several contentious issues whose authenticity needs to be tested in a national debate on the quality of education we are providing to the students of this country. Nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me point out to this House that given the evolution of the Fijian education sector, there is more than one stakeholder to value, like the School Management Association, teachers and teacher unions, students and their parents, and guardians, the government, higher education bodies, and academics at all levels. The Honourable Minister has excelled to paint a very rosy picture of the Ministry, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and let me highlight some of the promises made which is affecting the Fiji education sector and its growth. And these are, Mr. Deputy Speaker, failing to supply textbooks on time, online to all schools in Fiji, hollow promise of short-changing on promises of one laptop to one electronic gadget, and then to one smartphone which students are still waiting for, unable to effectively bail out schools affected by TC Winston in terms of the damaged infrastructure, forcing thousands of students to study in tents, politicians entering schools and classrooms without teacher license from TRB, and conducting election campaign under the guise of budget consultation, politicization of school management, and one example of this is the recent statement by the Honourable Minister for Education, made in Rawe, was quoted saying, "Vinakatamana."
Well, Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Member has made an allegation saying that we are conducting budget consultations under the, having political campaigning under the guise of budget consultations. That is false. He needs to substantiate that. On what basis is he saying that? Honourable Deputy Speaker, I ask him to withdraw that because there is no factual basis to what he has said.
Senator TV.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I would like you to withdraw your...
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I withdraw.
Thank you.
Devising and applying policies in schools that will benefit a prominent business firm which is openly supporting the Fiji First Party, setting up of a rival school management umbrella body to oppose the School Management Association of Fiji, breaching school constitutions to have school annual general meetings without quorum and following constitutional procedures, instituting selected investigations upon school management. Mr. Deputy Speaker, would do agree to lend the support to the Fiji First government, rubbishing requests and petitions by school managements and parents seeking redress, denying rights to parents and guardians of other faith in faith-based school to lend the support, selected teachers warming seats in one school for more than 20 years without transfer and playing politics in the school system, unwilling to take the requests, Mr. Deputy Speaker, of teachers from the respective unions, namely the Fiji Teachers Union and the Fijian Teachers Association, and treating them with contempt so much that the General Secretary of Fiji Teachers Union recently threatened to take the Ministry of Education to court, and many more, Mr. Deputy Speaker. As opposed to all this, Mr. Deputy Speaker, a Sodalpa government will provide free education to all the students like the SDL have done in the past. We had initiated this, Madam President.
Sell everything.
Let me go
for free.
Let me go further, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and remind the Honourable Minister for Education that he had informed this House that there will be an education summit. I asked when, and I go on to say that the Sodalpa government will organize and conduct such a summit in 2018. Expounding a little further, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it was made public that there have been unnecessary expenditures incurred by the Ministry of Education, which is an alarming issue needing urgent attention. How can the Ministry police schools and school management when their own houses is not in order? We are also appalled, Mr. Deputy Speaker, at the unrealistic reforms being introduced in the Ministry of Education, especially in the curriculum unit, which needs careful considerations and consultations with the stakeholders. And I will not mince my words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to say that all these things may become counterproductive and end up damaging the Fijian education sector. I would also like to request the Honourable Minister, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to give this House an update on the number of school dropouts who have been assisted, as he had been quoted recently in the media. Anyone can make a general comment, but we need the specifics of the same to determine the accuracy of the statement, and I strongly believe that Parliament has a right to know, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, before I sum up, I wish to make a humble plea to the Honourable Minister for Education, to all the teachers who reach retirement age in the media to continue to teach until the end of the year, in order for smooth transition. Finally, Mr. Deputy Speaker, there is a need for action and not promises in the education sector. Only then we can begin from here to write a new chapter that is devoid of what has been a culture of hostility in the past 3 years, and replace that by a culture of cooperation and genuine partnership. Two Fijians, Mr. Deputy Speaker, returned from overseas with doctors in accounting at the University of the South Pacific, and they are not paid the correct salaries, and the Honourable Minister of Education is playing mum on it. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I now call upon the Leader of NFP or his designate. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I was going to talk about something else, but hearing the Honourable Minister for Education and his attempt to rubbish the formation of the Education Commission actually makes me say something else. It's actually quite ironical that we have this minister now coming out and giving a ministerial statement on how he's enhancing the stakeholder engagement, when in fact, since he became Minister for Education, Honourable Deputy Speaker, he is rubbished. He's rubbished school management, teachers, principals, everyone in the education sector, including the unions. And now, when he's realized that these people, these stakeholders are pushing back and they are revolting, he is suddenly engaging in this cosmetic exercise of trying to get people together to make presentations so that, it all becomes very inclusive. Today, it's also ironical that he actually talks about how professors, how academics should be respected, when he himself, when the report from the University of Bristol and USP, there's a joint report on the perception of teacher education and the general perception of education in this country, he actually rubbished that report. He actually rubbished that report because that report actually talked about the real issues facing the education system in this country. And the reason, Honourable Deputy Speaker, that I keep insisting on a formation of an education commission, and he actually talks about education commission and people coming from outside. I never said that. Of course, we had an education commission in 2000, and most of the people who were on that commission were from within the country and from universities and others. So really, I don't think he actually understands the value of an education commission, because what has happened, Honourable Deputy Speaker, over the last 10 years, the previous military government, the previous Minister for Education undertook a series of reforms. Some of those reforms were overturned by this Minister for Education without any serious analysis and understanding of what has gone in the education system for the last 5 or 6 years. And that is what I'm saying, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that it is not too late. You know, we appreciate what he's trying to do. He's talking about quality, he's talking about, you know, getting people together. And basically, what is the situation today, Honorable Deputy Speaker, in terms of stakeholder engagement? They're all been teared apart. All been teared apart. I mean, for years in this country, the schools in this country have been run by faith-based organizations, communities, and there was real parental community engagement in the running of schools. And what we have today is a very mechanical, a very superficial, a very petty way in which these engagements is being undertaken. And so, you know, I want to insist on the Honourable Minister for Education, let's cut out this crap of getting people here, getting people out there, and trying to put up a program.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, are we going to use the word the crap? It's like saying bullshit. No. Crap is bullshit. Crap is shit. Crap is bullshit. Now, in colloquially speaking, Honourable Deputy Speaker, crap is not parliamentary language. They cannot handle when I talk to them about them lacking logic, but they can use the word crap, demeaning this House. And I suggest, Honourable Deputy Speaker, that the Honourable Member should withdraw the use of the word crap. He can be very clever, he's not an unintelligent man. He can use another word for the word crap.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Would you like to...
You can say nonsense. I can give you a few words if you want to say that.
Would you like to withdraw? Please.
I'll withdraw that and replace the word nonsense.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, this is the point I'm trying to make, that the Honourable Minister has put out all this series of activities that he's doing. And it is all about firefighting. It is all about addressing concerns from different... And that is results. We don't even know what the results are. He actually talks about quality unless we have a definition, unless we have a very clear analysis of the measurement of quality. He has not come out once in this House, Honourable Deputy Speaker, about the measurement that he is using to describe quality. And unless we have that, we cannot talk about having quality education in this country, Honourable Deputy Speaker. And I urge the Honourable Minister to think about it seriously. This is not something that you know, we are piling on to him. This is something which is very, very important. I mean, having a serious education commission and looking at all these issues and then putting out appropriate policies would be the best way to go, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.